warmly welcome all of you to be here. This is the session of low-cost access to space. Certainly, the topic today is also the low-cost access to space. Let me introduce myself. I'm Guoqing Wang, the Vice President of China Academy of Launch Vehicles, that is CALT. With the rapid development and the space technology, the space activities are getting more and more frequently. How to make low-cost access to space has been a very important issue for all of the space communities. Today, we will discuss about this issue. Now, please allow me to introduce this expert sitting beside me. This is Dr. Wang. He's from R&D Center of CALT. And this is Mr. Lu, academician of IAA, Director of CALT, Science and Technology Consulting Committee. And also this gentleman is Zheng Dong, the member of IAF, Commercial Space Flight Safety Committee, President's Assistant of CALT. And the last one is Mr. Wang Xiaojun, also the member of IAA, Engineering Director of Long March 7 launch vehicle. I would like to say let's give them a warm welcome also. Now I'd like to give you a brief introduction of the low-cost access to space at the very beginning. I hope it may provide you some background and information. The topic is low access to space access to space. My title of the PPT is the opportunities and the challenges of low-cost access to space. I have 4 parts. The first one is the introduction. Space transportation system is the basis of space activities. The space technologies help human beings to realize space exploration, enhance the range of mankind activities, and change the lifestyle. Space transportation system is the basis of space exploration and utilization, which is a major driving force to promote the progress of human society. The second is that low-cost access to space becomes the trend of space transportation system. The space transportation system has been developed from access to space to low-cost access to space, which has been the trend of space powers all over the world. The third, launch cost is a key competitive factor of launch vehicle. Due to its low cost, Falcon 9 is more competitive in the international commercial launch market. As an important goal, reducing the cost has been adopted to improve market competitiveness for development of new generation launch vehicles. Part 2, opportunity. Demand of access to space is growing continually and rapidly. According to IAA research, the demand of launches will be up to 100,000 tons for space power station, manned space exploration, asteroid mining, and satellite by 2045. The global annual number of launching satellites will be up to 300 to 400 due to the emerging satellite internet plan since 2017. Emerging satellites internet constellation 4,425 LEO satellites of SpaceX, 648 LEO satellites of OneWeb, 80 to 140 LEO satellites in the LEOSat system of Kamata. In the next 20 years, space tourism will be developed to be a multi-million-dollar industry. The second, increasingly maturing space transportation technology. USA, Russia, Europe, Japan, and China have established complete spectrums and systems of launch vehicles, respectively. Low-cost design technology development and application, generalization, serialization, modularization, low-cost engine, electrical system integration design, digital manufacturing technology, intelligent test launch and control, space-based TTC system, CALT application. All of this technology will be involved to develop new generation rocket. Reusable launch vehicle is an important approach to reduce the cost. After decades of research, significant progresses have been made among some key technologies of RLA. Flight demonstration is on the way. Capital investment. Venture capital has been generally invested in private aerospace enterprises. For example, SpaceX and Rocket Lab have been already successfully. A brief summary. With the support of national policies and a solid foundation in market, technology, and capital, it will be an incredible opportunity for the low-cost space transportation development. The era of low-cost access to space is coming. Let's say the third part, the challenge. First, low-cost design concept. Compared with traditional design, launch vehicles should be designed in accordance with the implementation of low-cost design concepts, such as performance versus cost, reliability versus cost, optimized to be simplified, easily maintainable, and operational. Advanced technology R&D as an important approach to reduce the launch cost. Great efforts should be made for reusable launch vehicles in order to make breakthroughs in key technologies, product development, maintenance, and management. Mass production and manufacturing. Mass production mode instead of traditional small batch trial production enables cost reduction and meets the requirements of large-scale satellite launch. Concurrent R&D and advanced management. To meet the requirement for low-cost access to space, the mode of design and management needs to be modified as follows, such as concurrent R&D, project-based flight management, consideration of cost, schedule, and quality. Brief summary. About design. Low-cost design concept will be evolved, optimized to be simplified, easily maintainable, and operational. About R&D. Low-cost technology and reusable launch vehicles will be researched and applied. About the manufacture. Mass production mode and digital manufacturing mode will be helpful. About management, concurrent R&D, project-based flight management, consideration of cost, schedule, and quality will be applied. The third, before the last one, suggested topic to be discussed. The first is factors on space launch cost. The second is low-cost technology. The third is roadmap of reusable launch vehicle. The fourth is optimization for R&D process. The last one is the improvement on management procedure. This is a brief introduction for me to provide everybody here. And now let's welcome the expert on stage to express their own comments about low-cost access to space. Mr. Wu would like to talk about this topic first.
Good afternoon, everybody. In the period of the next 10 years, there is expected to be dramatic increasing demand in the global commercial satellite launch. So the low-cost commercial rise of the space into space has also becomes a hot topic, especially in recent years. Since the start of the 21st state century, especially in the recent 5 years, the main space countries have gradually adopted low-cost features development approach, marking great efforts in system concept, optimizing, and special technology. There are different development strategies to lower the cost of launch vehicles, including small cost reduction in near term and large cost reduction in long term. I think the low cost technology includes the involved technology and disruptive technology. As involved technology to the further development and comprehensive application of the current technology for launch vehicle in order to reduce the cost of launch vehicles, such as hybrid power design technology, rapid test and launch technology, simplified design technology, new technology and processing, design reliability with low cost technology. This is balancing the reliability and the cost. It's very important and very difficult. Disruptive technology refers to the technology that will replace the mainstream technology in unexpected way. I see. The application of disruptive technology will decrease the cost of launch vehicle by orders of magnitude. Several distinguished disruptive technology that can be applied for reducing the cost of rocket body, power system, and electrical system, such as 3D printing technology. New power is adopted with anti-jam and reliable communication methods and making full use of artificial intelligence, etc. Standardization and reference frame is also helpful to reduce the cost. Establish the overall cost plan for the satellite and the rocket with the system engineering method to conduct the overall optimization target into account the operation of the satellite and the launch vehicles, such as multi-satellite launch to form constellation. And I think for the small satellite launch, we can make a strategy of small satellite launch. The commercial satellites market is developing rapidly despite many uncertainties. Many focus on the medium and low orbit missions satellite, which mass between under 200 kilograms. One is for the demonstration payload launch, and the other for the constellation network launch. As for launch pattern, there are many solutions. However, 3 kinds of pattern are commonly used for the space access. That is the piggyback network launch and the single launch by small launch vehicles. As you know, it is prospective way to sharply decrease the cost to space. We use RLV, reusable launch vehicle. Now we have 3-step development strategy has been proposed on the basis of the status of China's RLV. Step 1, to realize the engineering application of reusing the rocket power booster of first stage. Step 2, to realize the engineering application of reusing the rocket powered 2-stage to orbit. Step 3, to realize the engineering application of ROV powered by combined circle engines. That's my opinion. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lu, he gave a good very point, and also he gave his own ideas about the strategy about the low-cost launch vehicles. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Zheng to give your opinions about this topic.
Thank you, Professor Wang. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dong Zheng from CALT. Both Professor Wang and Professor Lu just has made a wonderful speech. So I just want to mention 3 points. When we talk about the low-cost access to the space, I think we must say that a well-known thing is that the low cost and high reliability is one of the well-known, is one of the most prominent features of the Long March rocket. Before the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, the price of Long March rocket has been the lowest in the world. That's first. The second thing I want to say is the ability to have low-cost access to space, which means having a stronger ability to enter into the space. Greater market share and the stronger market competitiveness. Third, low-cost access to space not only involves rockets, but also involves the space segment, ground segment, and other factors. This is a comprehensive problem. For example, I think the generalization and standardization and the modular manufacturing of space satellite, I mean the satellite manufacturing, is also a very important factor affecting the rocket design, manufacturing, and launch. In short, low-cost access to space is a big deal, I think. It is complicated, requires space, ground segment, and rocket together to work hard. Taking into account the usual low-cost goal is to reduce the launch price to the current 1/5 to 1/10. So I think that it will take a long time to gradually realize the efforts. Thank you very much.
You have a good point, and you emphasize the rocket reliability, and you put it on the first place. I think it's very good, good point. And also, you give a new idea. I think you comment the relationship between the rocket design and the satellite manufacturing. That's the first for me to listen to the point. After that, I would like to discuss with you carefully, detailedly. And the third, I would like to invite Mr. Wang to give some comments.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Wang just gave us an excellent speech on the low-cost transportation. I agree with opinions. The capability to access space with cost efficiency is an important pursuit for us, for everyone in this area. I am in charge of the development of Long March 7 launch vehicles. This launch vehicle is a new launch vehicle. It's developed for the purpose of Chinese space cargo mission and crew-related launch vehicle missions. It's a new launch vehicle. The development of Long March 7 program was initiated on November 2009, and it performed its maiden flight on June 25th, 2016. The success of the Long March 7 signified that the launch capability of China has risen from 8.6 tons to 14 tons, about a 6% increase. On April 20th this year, the Long March 7 completed its second flight successfully in Wenchang launch site. Tianzhou the first, the cargo spaceship was launched to the target orbit precisely. The Long March 7 is used for the China Manned Space Flight Program. The Long March 7 designs adapt many innovative aspects and redundant design to improve the reliability. However, it leads to higher cost. The average cost for 1 kilogram payload is about a little more higher than the Long March 2F nowadays capable launch vehicles. To meet the demand the satellite missions and improve the market competitiveness. The number 7, start to control the cost. We will do something. We will do several things. The first is the optimization. The system schemes. We will cancel the separation between the boost and the first stage. The boost will separate with the first stage at the same time, because and decrease the quantity of gas cylinder. We will cancel the heat insulation layer of the oxidizer tanks. We will simplify the design of the launch vehicles. Secondly, we will optimize the onboard instrument. We will decrease 25% of the applied sensors, especially the expensive sensors. The third, we will use the cheap product on the non-critical designs to decrease the required levels of the civilian circuits. The fourth, we will employ the reusable technology to the cross stage and boosters. We will use the reusable technologies. Finally, I think it's the most effective method. We will require our partners to cut the price at the same time. Our target is to increase 30 to 35% of the current cost and to adapt the mainstream satellite launch missions in the future. With the continuous optimization of the design and product and production. I think the launch vehicle, the number 7 launch vehicle will become a cost-effective launch vehicle in the future. Thank you.
He's in charge of development of Long March 7. Hundreds of people report to him. He's really a big person, and he just gave his some ideas to reduce the cost of Long March 7, and to the extent reduce to 30 to 35% of the price now. It's a big barrier, I think. Let's see what will happen in the future. And the last, I would like to invite Dr. Wang to give his comments.
Thank you, Chairman. Indeed, with the increasing demand access to space, we have facing the area of low-cost access to space right now. And we have to face it, and we have to do something to discuss it and investigate it. But as you know, when we want to lower the cost of access to space, which analysis factors improving the cost. I think there are many factors reducing the cost of the launcher. Here, I think we talk about discuss the main factors which are important. I think that there are 3 important factors in the cost of the launcher. Firstly, design and manufacture cost of the launch vehicle itself. And secondly, the launch size, which the launch size. And thirdly, is the maintenance cost. But for this kind of factors, I think for different nations, they have different impacts on the costs. I like SpaceX cost paid for last size, not that much, I don't know. but China may be more than SpaceX. So, if we want to lower the cost, we should first find the factors first, and then we do something to decrease the cost. Another important factors is we don't do a lot of efforts for that. Is national cooperation. International cooperation. This conference is a global space exploration conference, and international cooperation in space exploration has become a very important thing. And if we can share the data, share the technology solutions and science method and design tools, maybe we can get our destination at low cost very possible. That's my first comments on the factors. And secondly is about the low cost technology. Actually, the chairman's introduction slides is much comprehensive about the demands, opportunities, challenges, and approaches of how to lower the cost. I think the slides also include the low cost technology. Generally, there are three main low cost technologies. Okay? And the first thing is low-cost design technology of expandable launcher, which increasingly lower expandable launcher costs. And secondly is reusable. Just mentioned Professor Review. Reusable launch vehicle LV. I believe it is a very promoting way to largely lower the cost. The third is to develop a new concept transportation system, which we can call it is disruptive technology, like space elevator. The traditional launch vehicle, it is just a rocket. They use the rocket engine. This kind of launcher always the payload capacity limits. If we develop a heavy lift launch vehicle, the payload capacity is about 100 times the low Earth orbit. And the rocket always has a cost limit. So when we are facing the large-scale access space demand in the future. For example, we can take the space power station as an example. Space power station on the GEO orbit, it is about 100,000 tons a year. So the payload capacity of the rocket is not that enough for this kind of power orbit power station. So we need kind of new space transportation, like space elevator. From some preliminary studies, they says the space elevator can send 100 tons to the GEO per week. And the cost of the space elevator is about 1%. Besides of the space elevator, there are some other new concept technology. I think we should pay attention to this technology right now, such as cryogenic propeller building on the orbit and the nuclear propulsion. Electric nuclear propulsion and nuclear cells propulsion and etc. This is my second focus about low-cost technology. Third, I want to focus on the RLV technology, reusable technology. As I just said, I believe it's a promising way to largely lower the cost of launcher. But we want to reduce the launcher. We wish to cover it first. So the covering technology wish to brainstorm firstly. How we cover stage generally from a view of researcher, I think there are also three methods to cover the stage of launching. The first is parachute landing. The parachute landing, we use the parachute to decrease stage when the stage separate from launch. And like the space shuttle solid booster, either landing on the sea. And second is proportional landing, which we start main ending to increase the stage when it's landing zero. And the case of this kind of carried method is part 9. And the third method is landing with a wing landing, like a plane. The example is about space shuttle orbit. These three launch vehicle stage recovery types, I think they have their own characteristics, and everyone has its own pros and cons. Like the projected landing, it is easy. And the performance loss is very limited, but the launcher cannot landing on the place what you want. The precise, it cannot landing precisely with perfection landing. For the proportion landing and the wing landing, the launcher can land on the place what you want is this kind of types. But they are difficult to, to start engines and some large through engines. And also the performance loss is always a lot. So I mean, if we want to use the stage of the launch vehicle, consider which type of recovery technology is suitable for ourselves. I think there is no best one, just choose one which is suitable. However, we should be aware of the fact reusable does not mean low cost until now. So far, it still is not demonstrated. But there are a lot of things we can do. But I think it can become a reality. Thank you.
One give three main factors to reduce the cost. That is the design, the low-cost technology used, and also the reusable technology. Especially the reusable technology, I mentioned the three ways to develop the new rocket. Maybe the rocket or use the reusable technology, such as parachute landing, partly reusable of the tank, the engine, and also wing structure type. Launch vehicle is also a main trend. However, it also gives some new ideas about the recover, new concept, also something like that. So give a lot of ideas, some new ideas. I try my best to get what he was talking about. And I think we have a lot of people here. Everybody here maybe have some new comments, some ideas. So any comments? Anybody want to say something? Introduce yourself.
Just good afternoon, everyone. Respected experts and the audience. I am Dong Xiaolin from CALT. And I've learned a lot from the reports and this discussion and got some thoughts to share with you. With the rapid development of foundation technologies, low-cost access to space will be surely realized. On one hand, more demands in the past were expanded that going to space will be more popular among general public. On the other hand, space applications will be stimulated to be more diversified by more launches. Using an old poem in China to describe the change, literally, maybe not very suitable, is this one who always built nests around the influential families have been flown to the common people's home. Do you understand? Yes, it's 就是王谢堂前燕飞入寻常百姓家，规定非常合适啊！谢谢大家 ，Thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Any comments or any question, or you want to talk something? Okay.
Thank you for the excellent presentation. My name is Andrew Jones. I'm a space journalist based in Finland. This is slightly off topic, but I'd like to know if the Long March 7 and the Long March 5 will be human rated in the future, and when could this happen, and then would they be launching Chandra aircraft with the next generation of spacecraft? Thank you.
The manned launch vehicles is under development. Maybe 5 to 7 years we will live or maybe fly of many. The state of many space management state. In fact, it may be 5 to 7 years.
Beautiful lady, just want to say something? Okay.
I want to know if China has some new object for the long-cost access to space.
I'd like to say, listen to some comments from you.
Any plan for the local school?
I think the topic is very important for the development of outspace development. So I want to ask history. If China has some important object for in the future for the long coast access to space.
Let me say something about that. And actually, we don't have the real plan to develop the low-cost launch vehicles, but we do have some technology to test, such as the landing, the parachute landing technology, and also we try to reuse some, develop some technology to design repeatedly, and also we have some new ideas to develop the new launch vehicles, not the traditional one, but the new one. But all of this stay on stage, new idea, innovation, not in the project stage. That's all.
Thank you.
Any comments? Okay. You want something? Okay. You can see something about the low.
Thank you so much. I still have some questions if you permit me to ask. I wanted to know from the Chinese government point of view and your academy, which for making reusable launch vehicles, low-cost reusable launch vehicles, what are the major components that you think are the most challenging elements, and what's your idea in this about?
Thank you for your question. For the RLV technology, it's a very change of reusable change of development of launch vehicle. And there's a lot of key technology we wish to investigate. For the key technologies, there are like the system design and aerodynamics, like the structure, mass structures, and engine, the reusable engines, and landing engines. So, but for the kind of these technologies we wish to do, and for the kind of reusable launch vehicles, I think there's two kinds of vehicles to investigate. The first is reusable technology based on expandable launch vehicle methods, technology, and the second thing is like space shuttle, wings, plane flight.
And is there any plan for Chinese launch vehicle system for making reusable launch vehicles?
I don't know. I can't answer this question. We are doing that. Yes, we have some plan, but for some key technologies, that's phase.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. Professor Wang gave us a good lecture on export in stage, share their good reports. From the lecture and reports, I have known a lot. In here, I agree the report in lecture, which is the era of no-cost access to space is coming. As we all know, with the success of SpaceX companies and the Falcon 9 launch vehicles, all space powers in the world have developed new generation launch vehicles like Vulcan, Ariane 6, and H3, and also our China have also researched low-cost technologies. As a spaceman in China, I have confidence with us work hard and strict. We will not and develop the low-cost space control system. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. And any comments? All of you? Mr. Chen, you want something? You are a busy man.
Thank you very much, Professor Wang. Yeah, I'd like to express some of my points of view on low-cost access to space. First, I think low-cost access to space is a trend that cannot be reversed. Low-cost access to space is a goal we should pursue. At present, we still face some critical issues, such as technological ways to cut costs, management issues, policy issues, and so on. But anyway, the innovative spirit is very important to space exploration. In China, now the government is encouraging private sectors to invest in space. So I do think the private sectors will bring more innovative spirit to the traditional space industry. And I do think that will accelerate the commercialization in space and will promote the commercial competition in space. Second, we still have a long way to go. The cost is not the only factor which has significant influence on the capability of entering into space. We should make trade-offs between these factors such as cost, reliability, and safety. All those factors must be balanced very well. The expandable launch vehicles are still the main workhorses to enter space so far. So, how to reduce the expandable launch vehicles' launching cost will be more meaningful. The traditional designing concept, designing principles, and management in space industry should be more adaptive. For example, the application of the commercial off-the-shelf components in space industry. I do think the traditional space industry is making changes, but they need time to do that. I do think the traditional space industry is making changes. We can expect more changes from the traditional space industry. The third, entering into space and exit from space. Like a plane, you know, that is a long-term goal we are pursuing now. And so I think the reusable launch vehicles will have a bright future. But the reusable launch vehicles will have a bright future in the development of advanced technologies, such as the advanced thermal protection system, combined cycle engine, and light material and structure technology. But I want to emphasize, we should make it clear, the reusability does not equals to low cost. So our goal of developing reusable launch vehicles is not for the reusability itself. Our purpose is to realize the low cost to enter into space. So when we talk about reusable launch vehicles, do not forget that. That's my point. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Time is going fast. I think we have to stop here. Before the end, I'd like to give some brief summary about this topic. I think we have the following consensus about today's discussion. The first is that the low-cost access to space is not only a trend, but is also a long way to go. People have to keep balance between the cost and the reliability. Mr. Shen just mentioned that. And the second is that innovation must be have to pay a lot of attention on the innovation, such as the new ideas, the new policies, such as some private enterprises must be involved in the development of the new generation transportation system, and also the new technology, new management, new ideas are very important. And people talk a lot of technology, such as reuse technology, low-cost technology. However, technology is very, very important. People must pay a lot of attention about that. And I think we have a good session today. We have to stop here. I want to express my sincere thanks from the bottom of my heart. I noticed that a lot of friends from outside China, and I wish you have a good stay in Beijing. Enjoy your time in Beijing. Okay, bye-bye.